Hi guys, thank you for watching. On today's video I'm going to show you guys how I highlight and contour my face. Some people might find it a lot of makeup, and it probably is, but to me I don't care. I do this every day. I'm a cake face, I admit it, but you definitely don't have to use as much makeup as I'm using. You can definitely skip a few steps or a few products, but this is just how I contour my face every day. So yeah, and the tutorial or pictorial on the eyes is on my Instagram page, so if you guys wanted to check that out. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else to say, so let's get on to the video, and I hope this was helpful.
Okay, so I've already applied my primer and foundation, and I use the Beauty Blender to apply my foundation, and as you can tell, it looks pretty flat right now, so let's add some dimension. To highlight, I use a concealer that's a few shades lighter than my skin tone. Here I'm using MAC Pro Longwear. You can use any kind of concealer brush to apply this. I'm using the Queen brush by Hair and Makeup Addiction, and I'm applying it in kind of like a triangular section from the inner corner of my eye down to the corner of my nose and out towards the temples. And I'm applying it on the other side also, and down the bridge of my nose, my forehead, my cupid's bow, and my chin. So basically, I'm applying the concealer in all the areas that I want to bring out and highlight. When you're done, it should look something like this. When it comes to my contouring, I use a foundation that's a few shades darker than my skin tone, and I apply it from the top of my ears towards the corner of my mouth. And I also apply it to my forehead and temples, and either side of my nose and the tip of my nose to create the illusion of a slimmer and straighter nose. I'm also going to apply this to my jawline because I don't like how strong it is, and I'm also going to apply that right down my neck. And it should look something like this. To blend out the concealer, I'm going to use a beauty blender, and make sure to use this damp and dab the product on instead of spreading it to make sure the product stays where you applied it, and it just gets rid of any hard lines and gives you a really nice seamless finish. To blend the contouring, I'm using another Queen brush by Hair and Makeup Addiction, and when you're blending out the cheekbone area, make sure to blend upwards, not down, and try to keep the lines as defined as possible but still diffuse and blend it out to make it look a bit more natural looking. And blend out the forehead, and if you have a wider forehead, you can apply more product to it to make it appear smaller. I just don't because my forehead's pretty small to begin with. I'm using the same brush to blend out the nose area. If you're not comfortable with using a bigger brush like this, you can use any kind of blending brush, any kind of like eyeshadow blending brush to blend this out. And again, make sure to keep the lines as defined, but still blend it out and diffuse it. I'm going to go ahead and blend out my jawline with the same brush, and I'm going to blend out the neck area with a beauty blender. To get rid of any dark circles under the eyes, I'm using MAC Prep+Prime Highlight, and I'm also going to apply that in a triangular section just under the eyes. I'm not going to go as far down as I did with my other concealer, but just under the eyes and the bridge of the nose, forehead, cupid's bow, and chin. And I'm going to blend that in with my beauty blender. So you can stop here if you like a more subtle, softer look and apply your favorite blush, but I like to define it further, so I go in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit and I use that lighter shade to highlight and these two darker shades to contour, and I'm using the mini buffer brush by Hair and Makeup Addiction to apply the highlight. I am in love with this palette. It is absolutely amazing. The shade I'm using right now is called Banana, so it has that yellow undertones that gets rid of any unwanted tones, and it's matte, so it's perfect for under the eyes. To apply the bronzer, I'm using an angled contour brush, and I'm using the darkest shade in the palette, which is called Havana, and I'm applying that just on the cheekbones because I want to make the cheekbones appear a bit more hollow, but around the forehead and my nose and my jawline, I use the medium shade, which is called Java. To contour the nose, I'm using the blender brush by Hair and Makeup Addiction, and again, keep the lines a little more defined but still blended and diffused so it looks a little more natural looking. To set all the areas I haven't applied powder to, I'm using MAC Studio Fix powder with the buffer brush by Hair and Makeup Addiction. For some added shine, use your favorite highlighter. Here I'm using MAC Superb, and I'm applying it with an angled contour brush right on the top of my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, my forehead, my cupid's bow, and my chin. Finish by applying your favorite blush. Here I'm using Motives Cosmetics Socialite, and I'm using the blusher brush by Hair and Makeup Addiction to apply this just on with the apples of my cheeks.